Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be covering all of the major FNAF news that's happened recently, including the Dead by Daylight collab, our first visual look at some book characters, and some Secret of the Mimic news. But starting off, let's have a rundown of the Dead by Daylight collab. Announced back in August as part of the 10-year anniversary celebrations, FNAF is finally getting put into DVD, and last week we finally got our first look at it. The teasers were shown during a Dead by Daylight event, and the new killer is going to be none other than Springtrap, who will be voiced by the original Springtrap voice actor, PJ Hayward. The chapter will feature no new survivor, but there will be a legendary skin for Springtrap based off of the Yellow Rabbit from the FNAF movie, with voice lines recorded by Matthew Lillard specifically for the skin. They've also said that there will be a unique, brand new survivor killer mechanic, but they haven't exactly said what. Additionally, there will also be a new FNAF pizzeria map, which is a sort of combination of the pizzeria from the movie and the pizzeria from FNAF 1. Springtrap in-game will be labelled as the animatronic, and the chapter will release sometime in June. However, rumours are saying that the PTB, also known as a public test build, will release sometime towards the end of the month, with a favoured date being May 27th. However, there has been no official confirmation of this yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to some more, less big but still exciting news, some of the pages for the Tales from the Pizzaplex graphic novel 3 have been released. And with these preview pages is our first look at none other than Edwin and David. Edwin is shown to be an old man with long grey hair and blue eyes, whereas David is depicted as a small child with brown hair and brown eyes. The illustrations for the books are done by Anthony Morris Jr. So, now that we do actually have official renders for these characters, I think it's safe to say that we can all stop using these to refer to Edwin and David. And before we get to our final piece of news, just very quickly, it's worth mentioning that 5 Laps at Freddy's has pulled a GTA 6 and has been delayed from 2025 to 2026. The game's demo was released back in August and it was part of the 10-year anniversary celebrations. Finally, we get to our final piece of mainline FNAF news this week, which is Secret of the Mimic. Recently, Steel have been upping the marketing on the game as we draw closer and closer to the June 13th release date. Some posters have been released, including this comedic one talking about employees losing and needing replacement limbs, which sounds oddly familiar. The second poster we have is this one, showing an order form for Murray's Costume Manor, which does fit in considering that we know Edwin was a contractor hired by Fazbear Entertainment to make costumes and or animatronics for them. Dawko has also conducted an interview with Steelwool last week focused on Secret of the Mimic, where we also got 2 more posters. They both seem to go along the same theme, talking about a device known as a data diver. One of these posters tells us that the data diver is the key, whilst the other tells us that the data diver knows what sector we best belong in. Thinking back to the Secret of the Mimic trailer we got a couple months ago, there is one shot with what appears to be a device similar in look to this data diver, so maybe that could be it. The interview also gave us much more information regarding the gameplay itself. We now know that the game will take roughly 8 to 10 hours for a single basic playthrough, but for completionists, it could take up to 20 whole hours, which has me personally very excited, considering that Security Breach takes at most 10 hours in order to get everything done. At PAX last year, the Secret of the Mimic demos were in VR, but we now have confirmation that VR will be releasing at a separate, later time after the PC version is released, in order to maximize the amount of people that can actually play the game on the first day. Additionally, just yesterday, we received another new teaser for the game, in what is described to be a recovered footage from the archive of inventor Edwin Murray, digitally restored for archival purposes. The featurette advertises a new kind of coffee machine known as Stay Up Latte, presumably one of the many inventions of Edwin Murray. The coffee machine learns what the user's favourite kind of coffee is, and is able to serve it to them every time, which also seems similar to the Mimic itself, learning from the actions of others. Split throughout the video are hidden images. One image seems to be showing what kinda looks like a warehouse, but it may be something else. The second image shows us an animatronic, and it's heavily theorized that this animatronic may be Dolly, the nurse that we saw from the trailer. The thumbnail of the video also shows a tape, so it may be possible that we'll be able to find hidden lore tapes throughout the game as well, for more of an insight to the story. But that's it for today's This Week in FNAF video. This is a new thing overall that we're doing on the channel, so if you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe so I know that you all enjoyed this content, and also because it really helps me out too. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.